Hello, everyone, and welcome to this segment of Hidden Gems. I'm Richard Murray, and today I am joined by my friend, Epic Connection Zone, Bill Pieper. Today, Bill and I are going to discuss why in the contact center environment, sometimes you might need help beyond what the cloud contact center providers can help you with on their own. So welcome in. Let's learn today why Epic is a Telarus hidden gem. Bill, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure, Richard.
Let's start with having you just give our partners a little bit of your background and you know, we could talk probably for hours on your experience in the contact center world, but just introduce yourself and give them an idea of what you can do to help them.
Sure. Bill Pieper, founder of Epic Connections. For the last 18 years, we have been providing contact center outsourcing and contact center consulting services to our clients. I started my career in the contact center industry in '96, so I've been doing this a long time. And about 5 years ago, we actually became a provider of implementation services for CCaaS solutions, as well as providing post-implementation CCaaS optimization and professional services.
And I think that was about the time you and I got to know each other. So I think that, you know, I've known you as one of the preeminent experts in this space, and you've helped us get smarter around how to do contact center. So I'm really excited to be able to have this discussion about how our partners can avail themselves of your team and your services. So let's start there. Telarus has helped a lot of partners sell contact center for the first time, but we still have a lot of partners that haven't. And even those that have sold it kind of realized how difficult it can be. So let's start with just talking about how you can help our partners transition into selling contact center.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what we have seen is that the partners that we've worked with have excellent relationships within IT and telecom. However, when they get in front of an executive responsible for the contact center operation, whether that's the COO, EVP, SVP, the dialogue changes drastically from more of a technology conversation to an operational conversation. And where the rubber meets the road is in the contact center itself. This is where they're being judged on a daily basis based on customer satisfaction, net promoter scores, as well as various KPIs and service levels. So the contact center executive, if you will, is a person whose bonus is based on all of those factors. And the partners come to us because they are introduced to this executive in the contact center, and they want to know what they should ask, how they should position themselves, and what they should look for within that contact center operation. Generally, what we do is we start with an assessment of the contact center's current state. We benchmark that against best practices, industry standards, and we help an organization understand where they're deficient in their operation. From there, we help them understand what they should do that would have the most impact on the performance of their operation. And we give them short-term goals, midterm goals, longer-term goals, and put together a roadmap that will help them as they progress through a technology transformation. And primarily our focus is on the people and process. There's three pillars within a contact center: people, process, and technology. Our focus is on the people and the process because those are where the most challenges are today. The technology is really more of an enabler. So where we can help the partners is to help them by representing them as a subject matter expert, representing their organization to help these organizations determine how they can align business requirements with the company's business objectives.
So even if our partner is already comfortable with, say, a Nice in Contact, a Five9, a TalkDesk, some of the other providers that are out there, you guys can come in and really add added expertise and depth and help ensure that the project goes well. Is that, am I
Yes.
kind of summarizing and understanding that right?
Yeah, very much so. And generally, what we see is when an organization, a supplier organization of CCaaS solutions, brings in a sales engineer, if you will, they spend 3 or 4 hours with a customer trying to identify what are the business requirements. When we go in and do an assessment and help them define and document business requirements, it's 3 to 4 weeks. We really take a really deep dive, and we start at the agent level and we look at what's happening at that agent level. We're sitting side by side, we're asking them questions. Why did you transfer that call? Why are you toggling through 6 or 8 screens? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And that's where we're going to get the most information as it relates to defining and documenting business requirements.
Great. And I certainly don't want to neglect any of our great contact center suppliers, the Genesises, the UJets of the world. I think the point is you know them all really well, and more importantly,
Yes.
you understand the space and what a contact center needs so that you can help them map out with the supplier. Candidly, I think you can help them make a better decision on which supplier might be the right fit. And then once they've made that decision, help make sure that project has measurable goals and just runs better so the customer's happier. So I think it's
That's
a great
exactly right.
offering.
That's exactly right. Since our team and all our consultants came out of large BPO organizations, we truly understand how to operationalize the technology. And I think that's a key factor because the suppliers are great at technology and how it affects the organization. We're great at operations and how that affects the organization, and then allowing us to transfer that knowledge into operationalizing the technology.
So you mentioned BPO. I want to talk about that next. I think some of our partners are familiar with the term BPO, maybe not all, so we may need to talk about that. But the idea that not every customer that our partners interact with is going to want to run their own contact center. They may not want to have to go directly with a cloud contacts provider. They may, but then need to outsource other elements of it because they don't have the skill set. I think a lot of times we just think, oh, I can outsource to a BPO. That's not historically been something that's in the Telarus portfolio, but I know you can help us with that. So let's just start with kind of talking about, okay, what can be outsourced in the contact center space?
Well, generally, the number one function is true contact center outsourcing or call center outsourcing. And what organizations typically do is they'll outsource the mundane type calls that they receive or text messages or emails or things of that nature, which allows their folks to be more subject matter experts, what we'll call tier 2 or tier 3 customer service agents. So that's typically what's outsourced is that call center function. Now, why do organizations outsource? One is growth. A lot of organizations are experiencing growth, and how do they adapt to that growth? That growth could be through an acquisition, it could be through a merger, things of that nature. The other is around flexibility. By utilizing an outsourcer, you have a flexible staff that you can ramp up and ramp down based on, for instance, seasonality. So for instance, a couple of examples are there's open enrollment every year in the fourth quarter. E-commerce companies are hit with a lot of additional volume in the fourth quarter. And the folks that sell flowers, for instance, are hit on Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. So these are all areas where you need that flexibility. Another is it just enhanced capabilities. Your internal contact center might only have the ability to handle voice, IVR, and email. but they want additional capabilities, so that they'll outsource that. The other thing is the outsourcing is done to reduce costs, and their contact centers are much more flexible. They have better utilization of their agents, so they can do more with less, for instance. And the last is one that really hit last year is business continuity. Having an outsourcer, if you're single threaded with a single brick and mortar contact center, and you don't have an outsourcer that can flex when things like COVID hit or weather or other outages, this has been a situation where a lot of organizations have decided to engage with an outsourcer to provide that business continuity and include that in their BCP.
That's great. So a lot of reasons why companies will outsource. And I know that you can help our partners if a customer doesn't want to move to a cloud contact center provider and wants to use a BPO, you can help them do that. What other areas of outsourcing can you help the partners with?
So what we found recently, actually last year, is that organizations are buying these tools from these CCaaS providers, such as workforce management, quality management, business insights. These are all things that are very, very robust in their ability to deliver results and data, if you will. But in most cases, what we find is organizations don't have the resources or the skill sets internally to handle that. So, for instance, workforce management is a good example. We have the ability to outsource or have a company outsource to us their scheduling, their forecasting, their real-time schedule adherence, their quality management, their business insights, where today we can monitor 100% of the calls and provide analytics and business intelligence and business insights to the organization. They can outsource that to us, and they don't need to have those resources internally.
Yeah, just so many good things that your team can do with all of your experience and layer that into a customer that just doesn't want to have that expense full time. So hope our partners realize that that's yet another area that they can make commissions. We haven't mentioned that. Yes, you can make commissions on the services that Epic is doing. So
right. That is true. And to be honest with you, there's nothing too small. We're working with a Telarus partner right now that her client wants to outsource 2 seats of email responses. They don't have enough folks internally to handle the email traffic that they're getting. So we're going to provide 2 additional resources. They did not want to hire them internally. They wanted to be able to use these 2 agents as a flex point when the email traffic became cumbersome for them to handle, because they have service levels to their customers, and they need to abide by those service levels and drive increased customer satisfaction.
That's a great example. I know you've worked with several of our partners at this point. Are there any other partner successes that you can leave us with, just so that those that are watching this can have in their mind, where there's already some good success that they can replicate?
Sure. One that we're working with now is a chain of dermatology clinics that came to us through a partner. They are in the final stages of making an acquisition of a company that will increase the volume of calls to make appointments and appointment changes and things of that nature. As a result of that, they want us to provide outsourcing capabilities to them, and we're not sure how long that will be. Is that 3 months, 6 months? Is that a year? But these are areas where we can help them and find the right partner, the right BPO partner, if you will, to provide those services, short-term, long-term, and our BPO partners are global, so we can handle those situations domestically, near shore, offshore, no matter where they are in the world.
Great. Not traditionally deals that our partners think that they can participate in. And so I hope that they're listening here and realizing that if it touches a contact center, there's a way to transact there. Now, I think probably the most important question for today is, when should a partner think to engage you versus just going direct to the CCaaS providers?
Well, I think the biggest opportunity is for them to uncover opportunities where the organizations don't have clearly defined and documented business requirements ahead of a technology transformation. All too often, we find that organizations that have done these technology transformations 6 months, 9 months later are calling us because they have not been able to realize the ROI. They haven't been able to realize the benefits that were established when they cost justified the transaction to go with a CCaaS provider. So what we can help the partners with is to really identify what those business requirements should be based on the alignment of those with the business or company's objectives. All too often we find when we do these post-implementation optimization services is that first thing we ask is, let's see your business requirements document. They said, we don't have one. Why don't you have one? I mean, they said, well, we did a lift and shift. Oh, so you took everything off of your old on-prem platform and moved it over? Well, did you have any challenges on the old prem platform? Yes, we did. That's why we moved over. Do you still have those same challenges today? Yes, we do. In fact, we've compounded the problem. So again, they should be calling us in the pre-sales environment so we can help their organizations truly understand what those business requirements can be and how they can capitalize on those from an ROI and a cost benefit standpoint.
Excellent. It's not just about moving to the new technology, it's about using it right, redefining processes, and really transforming a customer. So great thoughts there. How do they engage with you? When they hear all of these great things, what's the right way to engage with Epic?
Well, they can do one of two things. They can register the opportunity through Telarus. We are on the registration form. All the way at the bottom, you'll see contact center outsourcing, consulting, optimization services, professional services. They can do it that way, or they can just reach out to me directly with an email. I'll respond within 24 hours with approval, and then we'll engage with the partner initially and get a little bit more detail as to exactly what the challenges are that their customer is facing. Then they'll do an introduction to us to their customer, and we'll start that process. So it's very easy. We get requests all the time, and we're very open to working with Telarus partners.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Bill, I want to thank you not just for joining us here today, but for continuing to help Telarus be the #1 master agent for contact center. You really do bring a lot of value to our partners and the services that you provide.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure working with Telarus and all the Telarus partners.
Well, there you have it. Everyone, make sure that you reach out to Bill Pieper. I want to thank him for being my special guest today. That's all we have at Hidden Gems.